Hi, it's Lisa, doing a couple of monoprints with the Gelli plate using some dollar store finds and some stamps. This first item from the dollar store is a plastic decorative tray. It has a really pretty design on the back, and I'm just making sure it's nice and smooth so nothing will cut into my plate. I'm going to use a couple of distress paints, the new pistachio color, and some peeled paint. You'll hear a lot of silence. I'm not going to talk a lot over the video. Just kind of share with you some of the products that I'm using. I like to roll off my roller on a scrap piece of paper, and a lot of times those end up being some of my favorite prints. And then I'm actually going to press the paper over the back of this tray, and that will pick up some design as well. I'm using the Nina 110-pound exact cardstock that I got at the office supply store. You get a really pretty design from that tray. And there's also a ghost print, and I just went ahead and picked that up twice on that other paper. We'll be doing more with that later. Now this stamp is from Stampin' Up. It's an old discontinued one called Kindred Spirits, but you could use any large rubber or acrylic stamp for this technique. I'm using some green acrylic paints. I think one is Anita's and one is Delta Dreamcoat. Doesn't really matter what brands. It's whatever you got and whatever you like. And you get a 2 for 1 here because you press the stamp into the plate that's covered with paint and use that to stamp off on another piece of paper. And then we'll create a print from the plate. And at the very end of the video, you'll see a card that I make from some of these prints. It's one of the stamped off ones. And I did some others of these, and that just to show you some other examples with some slightly different colors of paint, and you always get a slightly different effect, even when you do the same technique. Now we're going to switch gears entirely with different colors and different products. We've got a couple of paints here in blue, and I have a sink mat from the dollar store. It's kind of thick, so we're not going to try to press the paper over the top of it. We're just going to use it to create an impression. One of the things I bought at the dollar store was this felt tulip for Easter, and it was the same way. It was too thick and I really couldn't create an impression over the top of it. But if you take something like that and you lay it on your paint covered Gelli plate, and I'm going to use the roller just to make sure it gets adhered down good. And I get really 2 passes of this because I get to create a print directly from the plate, and then there'll be some design that'll be off that sink mat over on the left there. So that's going to create a nice background, and I still have a little bit more left on the plate that I'm going to pick up with some tissue paper, which I also buy at the dollar store, but it doesn't really matter where you get your tissue paper. The stencil is from the Silhouette store, just a silhouette cut. And then I have 2 acrylic paints in yellow and orange. I have very little of that yellow left. And now we're going to do one final thing to this print. We're going to do some stamping with it, and I'm using an old set, and I'll have to put the name on the screen. I cannot remember where these came from, but they're just some circle designs. Any circle designs would work for this. And I'm not going to cover the whole Gelli plate because I just need some yellow paint. I don't need a ton of it. When I press the stamp down, I wiggle it just a little bit to make sure it really picks up good. That one kept feeling like there was something underneath it. There wasn't. I don't know why. It's stamped okay. Say I've had this set for many years and have used it a ton. Just one of those good basics. And we're going to do one more. And I hope these have given you some ideas of things that you can do just browsing the dollar store, looking for things that have an impression that will leave some texture, and also making use of your stamps with your Gelli plate. So thank you so much for watching. I have that card coming up here in just a moment. And I hope you'll check out my channel for other videos and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber.